Breakdown family. So President Trump was recently asked about his message to the African continent on Africa Day. Now, we know Africa Day, which takes place on May 25th each year, is all about celebrating the richness, culture, and resilience of the continent. You know, the founding of the Organization of African Unity in 1963 to promote unity and cooperation on the African continent. But Trump's response, his message for Africa on this day, well, was interesting to say the least. The question was asked by a reporter during his heated meeting with President Cyril Ramaphosa of South Africa at the White House last week. Now, I'd like you to take a listen for yourself, and then let's talk about it. But before we dive in, if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe to our channel and hit the notification bell for alerts. All right, now, let's play the clip.
So May 25th will be the celebration of Africa Day, which pretty much a lot of celebration will be taking place around the world, including here in the United States. What is your message to the entire African continent, African people in this important occasion?
Well, I want to see peace, and I want to see happiness. I want to see health, and you have incredible land. There's tremendous value. A lot of countries don't have that value in the land, the value you have. We have a situation, I think you probably heard about it. We've done, through some very talented people, helped settle a war that's been raging for years, Rwanda and the Congo. And I think we've done it. Believe it or not, I think we've done it. And could you just say a few words about that, my friend?
Yes. A couple of weeks ago, the two parties signed a declaration of principle in which they've agreed on the way forward. And they have both submitted draft peace agreements, and we have put together one that incorporates both of their suggestions, and we've given it to them. So we're in the process of finalizing this peace agreement. Right? Looking very good.
No, we have to thank you for even those efforts, because the African continent, particularly SADC, our Southern African Development Community, has for years been seeking to foster peace in the Democratic Republic of the Congo. So all efforts, including those from outside the continent and inside the continent, are really worthwhile. We are removing our troops from there so that peace can then prevail in that whole area. And we hope that with the support of the international community, we will really have peace in that area. It's so vital, it's so important for the whole region.
Well, we sent our people there, and I think we did a very good job. I said it by my friend, and that was great. That was great. I mean, I'm just hearing phenomenal reports, because all I'm hearing is death, and they're chopping heads off, and it's horrible over there. And it was really brave of you to go there, and I really appreciate it. And it looks like we have something very, very substantial. We also talked about trade with them in terms of rare earth and all, but really more for it's like, if you take a look at what we just did with Pakistan and India, we settled that whole thing, and I think I settled it through trade. We're doing a big deal with India, we're doing a big deal with Pakistan, and I said, what are you guys doing? Somebody had to be the last one to shoot, but the shooting was getting worse and worse, bigger and bigger, deeper and deeper into the countries, and we spoke to them, and I hate to say we got it settled, and then 2 days later, something happens, and they say it's Trump's fault. But Pakistan has got some excellent people and some really good, a great leader. And India is my friend, Modi. And he's a
mutual friend.
Yeah, he's a great guy. And I called them both, and we just did something good. We're trying to settle Russia-Ukraine. We spoke with President Putin for 2.5 hours the day before yesterday. I think we made a lot of progress, but that's a bloodbath. 5,000 people are being killed a week, 5,000 soldiers a week, not including people in cities and towns that are also being killed. So we're trying to help. And it doesn't affect us. It's not our people. It's not our soldiers. It's Ukraine and it's Russia, but if we can save 5,000 souls, we'll do it. You know, we're pretty good at it. But that's a bad situation. That is a really bad situation.
Well, you'd recall when President Zelensky was coming to South Africa, that's when I spoke to you.
That's right.
We both agreed that we need to push the peace message so that there can really be peace. And we've been involved in the Ukraine-Russia conflict for quite a while through my Minister of State Security here. We've been dealing with them, the exchange of children who were taken away, going through names and addresses and all that. So we've been invested in that whole process as well. And the moves that you're making are fully supported by us because we would like to see the end of that war.
That's true. I called Zelensky, and they said, he's in South Africa. I said, what the hell is he doing in South Africa?
He was talking to us.
We got to speak. I said, that's a strange one. I said, what are you doing in South Africa?
Yes.
That's a strange one.
He's trying to make peace.
That's right.
But
He's
we're
doing
taking
something.
him. You know, we were lucky because we had the great Nelson Mandela who taught us how to create peace, to make peace. So we were imparting some of those lessons to him, some of those learnings. And I specifically mentioned to him that this is how Nelson Mandela taught us that when you want to have a peace in a country, do it on an unconditional basis and sit down and talk. And that's precisely what I'm sure he's going to heed.
Well, we're going to see what happens with that when it's there's a lot of hatred,
Yeah.
there's a lot of death. It's a bloodbath. It's a
It is.
bloodbath.
It is.
I get the
Unfortunately.
I get the satellite pictures of that field, of that killing field.
Mm-hmm.
You never saw anything like it in your life. It's horrible. It's a horrible thing that it goes on, but I think we've made big progress.
So, my people, when asked what his message to Africa was, President Trump's answer was surprisingly simple. He wants to see peace, happiness, and health across the continent. Now, that might sound like a nice sentiment on the surface, but we've got to break down exactly what he's saying and what it means for Africa's future. He went on to praise the value of African land, something we hear quite often from world leaders. But here's where things get really interesting. He went on to boast about his role in helping to settle the long-standing conflict between Rwanda and the Congo. Now, he wasn't just talking about some diplomatic effort. He's calling it a success. But we've got to ask, is it really a success? And what does that even mean? And if it is, for whom? The Congo, Rwanda, or the U.S.? What is really happening behind the scenes here? And why does the U.S. or Trump have such vested interest in this region? You got to ask, why care so much about peace in the DRC and Rwanda when you don't care about peace in South Africa? Well, he continued to compare this peace effort to his interventions in Pakistan and India, and his ongoing efforts to negotiate peace in the Russia-Ukraine conflict. So we've got to unpack it. When Trump talks about peace, and especially about his role in African peace processes, what does that really mean? What's the deeper impact on African sovereignty and self-determination? What's the message that he's sending here on this Africa Day? And let's not forget the glaring issues with the very idea of foreign powers stepping in as the saviors of African people. So let's talk about it. What does striking a peace deal between two African nations mean for the relationship between the U.S. and Africa? Are these just feel-good statements or genuine steps toward real partnership and investment in the continent's future? Let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear your thoughts and overall what you thought about his message for Africa. Thanks for watching. Until next time, take care. Hey you! Thanks so much for watching this episode. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, don't forget to subscribe and join the family. Also, visit face2faceafrica.com for your daily news and updates on what's going on within the global Black community so you can stay informed.